on this, how bad this really can be for us. Now, and the point I'm trying to make here is this. Um, from an entrepreneurial point of view, now I'm speaking to CBN and the CBN governor. If it's listen, he should listen. Because this is the last I would expect from someone like him, particularly because he comes from a business background. For crying out loud, Emefiele before now was the managing director of Zenith Bank, one of the best banks in Nigeria.
They are even shutting
right?
down.
And they are shutting down because people will go after Zenith.
People are really going
right?
after.
Common sense. Okay, common sense is that whatever idea you are putting out, right? In business school, there's something they call design thinking. You are designing whatever policy you are putting out is because of your customers, right?
Yes.
And the customers, in the case of CBN, Nigerians, okay? Has Emefiele been deliberate to understand the effect of the policy they're about to introduce? The policy, if you look at it, like the benefit of that policy, this is what Nigerians ought to have done a long time ago. It makes a lot of sense, right? You actually can trace every money in the economy, right? I mean, all those things that you have issues around, banditry, kidnapping, all of those things are dependent on physical cash, okay? But for you to have a cashless policy means that you have a control over your currency. It makes a lot of sense.
And they are
but you also have to, yes, and you also have to be mindful that the people, if you have a policy that is meant to change, that would affect a lot of people, politicians, civil servants, people that depend so much on cash. Trust me, you should be ready that these people they would go all out to fight you and deal with you. You understand what I'm saying? They would use all their propaganda to come after you. So you should be prepared on how you want to, handle this implementation and do it in phases. Then when you are now confronted with issues, the right thing to do for a business-minded CEO that I expect Emefiele to be, which is not, is to now see how you can, modify your plans and strategy. You gave a February deadline. You need to keep changing until you achieve what you want to achieve, not until it's getting to this point. So the question for people is, wait a minute, why now? Okay, so what exactly was Emefiele? It's been the governor of Central Bank for how long?
Yeah.
Why did Emefiele wait till February before this
period? I have an answer to that because I've heard so many theories and
theories around it. Give me one of the theories.
People I respect a lot, saying how this policy, this whole thing is directly targeted at Tinubu, one of the presidential candidates.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, cash is one of the, in fact, if not the major thing that would push their whatever corrupt means they were going to take to give people this and that. So now having this policy in place would restrict that. And thing is, it's not as I don't entirely think that is the case like 100%. But even if it's where, the idea of it is not nice because for just one individual, you have made the entire citizen of a whole country, in fact, Africa giant, to be in peril, to be in a very tough situation, just to cripple one individual. And I don't even think it's going to really work if that were the purpose.
Well, so let's even look at it in that context that the example you cited, okay? Nigerian economy is so much dependent on cash.
Yes.
Let's use the election as an example. For you to run a free and fair election, particularly because we run a cash-dependent economy. Even INEC, the umpire, needs cash.
Yeah.
Needs cash to get things running, needs cash to mobilize, needs cash to move materials. I mean, my uncle's house in Ikorodu is actually at the backyard of INEC office. The materials to that particular location gets there usually a couple of days before the event. But the eve of every election, you would see all these Danfo buses moving in, right? The previous day to sleep over at the GRA where those materials will be moved to all locations. Payment to all these guys are paid on spot. The mobilization for ad hocs, like the ad hoc staff that would work at that particular location. And this is the Ikorodu. We're not talking about extreme places in Nigeria. You know, you have to go to Sambisa Forest. You have to go to all those extreme places where you can't even find any ATM. You can't find anything. The ad hoc you want to use doesn't even have bank. I mean, talking about financial inclusion, right? From the information available to CBN, which I believe Emefiele has. If we say we have X number of people that are that has a bank account, what is the percentage of that to Nigerian population? So this policy, as good as it is a policy that must happen in phases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And it is also important for federal government central bank to come up with initiative that would drive that financial inclusion, that would make this policy, that will make people embrace the policy. I'll give an example of what I mean, right? You know, in US, for example, you get incentives for using your cards. Meaning, when you, for example, make deposit and you are making payments online, right? If whatever common sense is not common, unfortunately. If CBN comes up with all these policy that people are getting benefit for simply using the digital, going by their policy, you will see how Nigerians will embrace it. If, for example, you know that you get something for opening a bank account for the first time, if you know that you get something when you run a transaction that is X amount and is done online, people will take it very seriously. Because, I mean, for some cards in US, for example, every time you make transaction that is up to a particular amount, you get cash back. Right? My Bank of American card, the first credit I got on my Bank of American card after doing a transaction of $2,000 online, I got $200, and I was seriously on a rush to get to $2,000 because they gave me a time limit that if you get to $2,000 within a window of 30 days for being a first-time user, you are getting $200.
That's a major incentive.
Wow.
And they also now partnered with different service providers. You're buying fuel in the gas station, you're doing this and all of that. All of them, so you're seeing on your app, you're seeing how much your cashback is for